Recording in three, two, and one. Welcome to a special exclusive of Nerdery and Murdery.
I am Zig with your nerdery, and I am an asshole.
And I'm Jeffrey with your Murdery, and I'm an asshole. Well, welcome everybody to an exclusive of the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the good and the bad, and the nerd and the murd. Nerdery and Murdery, it's where we dive into the worlds of geekdom and true crime. We explore stories that shape our imaginations and sometimes challenge the way we see the world. In today's episode, this is very special and especially exciting because we're welcoming back a good friend of the show. You've heard him before, and of course, you know him as co-host of Two Geeks and a Microphone. But today, he's joining us in a whole new role as an author. Michael Shanks, who is with us, he released his book last October. Yes, we are assholes. Uh,
We are
his
assholes.
his book, The Immortality Code: Rewriting the Rules of Life and Death. And let me tell you. It's a fascinating ride. Absolutely
Oh,
fascinating. It is not about it. It's not just another science book about longevity. Mike takes us on a journey through cutting edge genetics, biotechnology, and nanotech, while also it grapples with the ethical and philosophical questions that come with it. What happens when we push the boundaries of mortality? What does it mean for society, for relationships, and the meaning of life itself if death no longer is inevitable? This book, it doesn't just offer a glimpse into the future of science. It forces us to ask what we want the future to look like. Do we really want to live forever? If so, who gets to decide who does? So today we're going to be digging into the science, the philosophy, and even the personal side of Mike's journey writing this book. We'll talk about the breakthroughs that are happening right now, possibilities on the horizon, and the big what ifs of a world where immortality isn't just a myth or fiction, but a scientific pursuit. Mike, welcome back to Nerdery and Murdery.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. We're not just introducing you as a guest, but as a published author, and congratulations on that. I'm sorry we did not do this sooner. Um, Life gets very, very busy, but I was a beta reader of Mike's book. I tore through it. Absolutely loved it as I read through it, and so glad to have him here.
Oh, thank you very much. That's too kind of you. I don't think I could have explained my book better than you did.
nice.
I
You
have a
should use that.
I have a few $10 words in my pocket.
You sure do. I'm very impressed.
So, you know, I really want to dive right into it and just kind of get your thoughts. What inspired you to write the Immortality Code?
Okay, this is kind of a weird story. So, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and one of the podcasts I listen to from time to time is the Megyn Kelly Show. And Megyn Kelly does these. Sometimes they're court case shows where she'll talk about different court cases that's come up, almost like what you guys do with the murdery side of things.
Hmm.
And she'll analyze them, and she'll have a panel, and they'll all talk about it, and so on and so forth. Well, every now and then she does these other stories, and she had this one about a doctor, and he was quite the narcissist. He had convinced just about everybody that he was this medical genius. Okay. I mean, he's world hopping. He had everyone fooled, and he's replacing people's esophaguses with like a 3D printed one. I may have that incorrect. It may not be exactly a 3D printed, but they were, artificial esophaguses. And some of his patients, they would improve for a while, but every single one of them died.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, it was this crazy story. And he had actually convinced it was a woman who was she was like head of I want to say NBC's news. She was high up in the news organization, and she was building a story on this guy. Well, she fell for this guy, you know, and she fell head over heels over him. She left her job.
Wow.
because she thought he was going to marry her and everything. He had her convinced that he was the like secret doctor to the Obamas, to the Clintons, to the Pope. Imagine this, okay? And in fact, it got so bad that he finally did propose to her, and then it took forever for them to plan, or well, it took forever for him to plan the wedding and everything. And then he finally comes to her and says, "Oh, we're going to get married at the Vatican. In fact, the Pope is going to marry us." And that was her first red flag. She's like, "Well, wait a minute. I don't think the Pope does weddings, you know." And she looked it up, and every once in a while the Pope will do a wedding. It's extremely rare though. And she's like, "Well, I mean, if he's really the personal doctor of the Pope, okay, maybe this is true, you know." So she had started inviting friends, and then a couple of her friends had called in Italy to make reservations for that weekend and everything, right? And they're like, "Yeah, a friend of ours, she's getting married. She's getting married at the Vatican." And they're like, "Wait a minute, what's the date?" And they're like, "No, your friend's not getting married at the Vatican on that date." And she's like, well, "What do you mean?" "Because the Pope's not even in town that week." So, yeah, so he slipped up there, and then she finally caught on to him, and she figured it out. Turns out this guy even had another family, and he had everyone fooled. Okay, but he was like this. In my opinion, he was a modern day Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Modern day Dr. Frankenstein. And I'm listening to this story and I'm fascinated by it. And I'm like, man, I could build a story around this guy, you know? So I started taking some of his ideas. His practice was regenerative medicine, is what they call it, and which is a real practice and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to make him the main character of my story. But I want to give this guy a story arc. I want him to have a redemption. I want my guy to be a good guy. So that's where the inspiration came from. It's kind of a crazy, convoluted way of getting to it, but that's where the inspiration came from.
Well,
So,
it's
so
funny.
you're thinking about the story. You're standing there brushing your teeth, and you're like, "I'm gonna take this crazy nutbag dude and make him make Immortality."
Right. Although
Like
I
that?
although I was at work, not brushing my teeth.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, and
That's
it's
pretty much it.
funny. This topic, this type of topic has come up so many times in fiction. It's also come into play in real life because if you remember, uh, was it was it Pete Rose or Pete Rose's family that was trying to get him frozen?
Oh, I didn't know Pete Rose's family did that. I
It's
mean, I
one.
know.
It's something to do with his family because he went.
Really?
I need to look it up
Is it
because
Pete
he
Rose or Ted Williams?
Ted Williams. Ted Williams. You're right. Thank
Okay.
you, Ted Williams. Because he moved out to Arizona, where apparently this is a lot easier to do. Is get yourself frozen to possibly be cured of whatever your ailment is in the future. Um,
Didn't Walt Disney do something like that too?
Frozen.
No, no, that is actually an urban legend.
Okay. All right.
Um,
He
I thought you were
contemplated
I
it.
thought you were going on Frozen. Yes, he has contemplated.
Yeah, you thought I was going
Yes.
Frozen.
But
That's funny.
showwriter or showrunner David E. Kelly has also touched on this in multiples of his show because he's fascinated with it. I know I've seen it on Ally McBeal. I know he's done it on Boston Legal, which the Boston Legal one was really cool because it was Carl Reiner who was the guest star and he wanted to be Frozen. And he ends up moving to Arizona as well because the judge denies it. And I'm sure he's done it in other shows because he likes to pull in a lot of stuff. So this is a topic that is so fascinating for people. You can take the roots of this back to, I'm sure, way farther than I'm going with this, but you can take the roots of immortality back to Asimov. for science fiction
Okay, yeah.
with Harry Seldon, as he, because of his psychohistory and everything they did with that, he started going through time, and they would bring him back from time to time. So it's a really really cool idea. It's a very controversial
Oh yeah.
ideal as well, or idea as well, because kind of a question I was getting to when you talk about it, how do you balance hard science like this with the philosophical and ethical questions that surround immortality?
Well, and see, that's why I kind of wanted to tie this into Frankenstein, because like I said, the first thought came to my mind. This guy's a modern day Frankenstein, and in Dr. Frankenstein, he's trying to reanimate life. So I'm like, okay, so what if we took this from a modern spin and we used modern technology, using regenerative medicine, using stuff like AI and stem cell research, and threw that all into, because I mean, I could imagine if Mary Shelley lived today, those are the same types of things that she would have been playing with in her
Sure,
writing.
sure.
So that's where I decided to go with this. I thought, okay, he's my modern day Frankenstein, and I'll give a little spoiler alert, but uh, there is a tribute to Mary Shelley in the
Yes,
book.
yes.
So particular character in the book is a tribute to Mary Shelley, because she's the original author, and she was the genius behind all this. So I wanted to pay tribute to her. I thought that was important.
Yeah, that's a really cool part of the book too. And well, and we have so many breakthroughs coming all the time in various areas of medicine. I read a report the other day that I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if it was Harvard or where, but a new type of medicine that's in development that will actually attack the cancer cells and prevent them from growing anymore.
I
Ooh.
saw that.
And it's a new research that's being studied. And we've got a lot of very promising real world breakthroughs in longevity and various things to improve life. And it's funny what's out there. Many years ago, when they had um, the first dabbling into restoring a blind person's sight, one of the first people that was offered the ability to see again was Stevie Wonder. And he said,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah. And he
He
Interesting.
said
said,
no.
no. He said, no. And,
Really?
well, he talked about it later. He had his own vision of the world. At his age, he didn't want to suddenly change how he envisioned the world. He thought it would impact him as a musician, as an artist. And so he said, no. You
That
have
makes
Elon,
sense.
yeah, you have Elon Musk who is experimenting with Neuralink.
Yes.
We've got the people that have that out, and we're living longer than we ever have before. You look back 50, 60, 100 years, and living into your 80s was almost unheard of. Living into your hundreds, everybody here on this show, the Spaceball 2 is in development right now, and 98-year-old Mel Brooks is going to reprise his role in it.
I'm just praying he's still alive by the time he
Is he gonna
comes
is he gonna make it?
You're not the only
Um,
one.
out. Yeah.
but
Sorry about Bill Brooks is terrible.
that's just kind of the direction we were going. In your book, you talk about rewriting the code. So do you think we're closer to slowing, stopping, or even reversing aging?
No, I don't think reversing aging is something that I don't think that'll ever happen. Slowing aging, I think that's kind of on each individual. It depends on who you are. It depends on, I mean, we still got to work out. We still got to eat right. So on and so forth. You're not going to get around those things, but I do believe that medicine is breaking through things to make some of that stuff easier on us. So I really believe that medically we are closer to living longer than we ever have, like you had said. But as far as the reversing aging, I don't think that'll ever happen.
Well, and if I mean, in if immortality, or even if it was just decades more or century long lifespans, if that was possible, who do you think should have access to that?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm going to hit you with the hard ones tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this. Man, we should have access to that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the questions list because he sent it over to me. I was like, "Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one. What he's gonna say?"
Man, I don't I boy, that's a real ethical conundrum there. Um you don't want the government in control of it. I mean, that's dangerous. Certain doctors need to be in control of it, but even that you got to be careful of. I mean, hang on, I got my dog Zach going
Oh no,
crazy.
it's fine. We have we deal with dog stuff all the time. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
Well,
just all part of the show.
she wanted in, and then now she wants out. She can't make up her mind.
I want to be in there with you.
Right? Yeah, that's what she
Well,
does.
now I want to be out here.
But
Now I want to be in there with you.
I don't want to be in here with the door closed. That's the
Right,
thing.
right.
Anyway, so yeah, I think certain doctors need to have access to that, of course. But then again, you could come up with somebody who's like Dr. Ethan Caldwell.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
um, eh, well, Dr. Ethan Caldwell in the beginning, because by the end, like I said, he has.
Oh, the character actually starts out like a shyster then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
He's a
Yeah.
lot like the guy the real story is about. That was the idea. Was I was going to make him my well, I guess both my protagonist and my antagonist in a way.
Nice.
And that's how he
If
comes
I
across in
give
the
him,
book too.
yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Absolutely.
That's
Because
exactly what I wanted.
as I started reading the book, I really saw this, I saw this guy who had such a passion for what he was doing. As you get further and further in the book, you see a very definitive change where it's like, he may be evil,
Right,
you know,
right.
and it's wild how his character
And it
goes through that
starts off in a
progression.
good place.
Yeah.
He has a heart for humanity. He wants to help humanity. That's the idea. But as things progress and certain elements come into play, he starts to change. But we also have Anya, who is kind of the moral compass of the story, and she's also kind of the mother figure to Adam, and she kind of starts changing him. So, you know, that's where I wanted to go with the whole thing.
Have you ever read the Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect?
I do not.
I need
I
to
have.
send you that link. It's an online book. It's free. Heck, I just reread this probably not even a year ago. It's still out there. Um, I would invite you to read it, and because that really, the thinking about that book really drives where this question is, because in the Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect, because of something that happened, everybody in the world can now live forever, forever
Ooh.
inside a computer.
Oh, okay, okay, all right.
However, they feel pain, they feel sadness, they feel joy. I mean, everything. Well, and I'm sorry, they're not inside the computer, but prime intellect, the superior computer, controls everything that can happen. And in the metamorphosis of prime intellect, you can do anything you want, anything. And that leads me to the question I have. Do you think immortality would make life less meaningful, since death kind of often gives a sense of urgency to living fully?
I definitely think it would make life meaningless. Honestly,
Hmm.
death gives us purpose. You know, There's a finality, there's an end, and I think that's important. I think we need to realize that everything has to come to an end at some point. No matter how much we may dread that, no matter how much we don't dread it, it definitely comes to an end. And I think that's what um, makes us want to do certain things, because we see that I don't know what the word is I'm looking for.
Finality.
Yes. We see that, and we want to make ourselves meaningful before that happens. I think if you live forever, you lose that. What's the point? You're going to be around forever. So who cares?
Well, and did you write the book as a blueprint, a warning, and who did you write it for? Did you write it for scientists, futurists, or just people who are curious about longevity?
It's more for science fiction slash horror fans. I mean, it's not really a horror book, but it has some elements, very small elements of horror. So it's more towards that area of an audience. I don't have a lot of background in medical, really. The only background I have in medical is just from what I kind of researched for the book. And it wasn't heavy stuff. I kind of researched what that doctor was doing, and learned a little bit about his, failures that he was doing. And then I just started combining that with the different things that seem to be going on in the science community today, such as the regenerative medicine, the stem cell research, and the possibility of using AI to enhance some of that stuff. And I thought, these are just great connectors to be able to put together this story. That's kind of what I did with that.
Do you think that human society and like even politics or relationships would change drastically if people lived like say 2 to 500 years?
I think it would have to. I mean, if we're going to live that long, I think we have to get along better. Honestly, I mean, what's going to happen if we don't get along better and we live longer? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I think society could get worse in some ways.
I
So
think there's
yeah,
a
we'd
fair
have to
point to that.
find better ways to get along with each other. Yeah, boy,
Did
that's
writing,
something crazy to
go
think.
ahead, go ahead.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That is deep.
Well, did writing the book change your own outlook on aging and mortality?
No, I don't think so. Not on aging and mortality. I mean, I'm a believer, and I know where I'm going. That I have no concern about that whatsoever. Um, I mean, sure, I want to live a nice long life, but I know there are people who are fascinated with the idea of living forever, so on and so forth. I don't have that kind of desire to live forever. I don't
I
think
mean, I
I've
don't
watched too
know.
many vampire movies.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I don't necessarily want to, but it's not so much the not wanting to live forever, at least, not wanting to live for a couple hundred years, because I don't want to go through the aging. If you could stop the aging, yeah, that'd be all right.
That's
That'd be all
true,
right.
but then you want to be like in your 20s, so you want to get that vampire
No,
bite in
no,
your 20s.
actually, no. I didn't really come into my own till I was about 30.
Okay, all right, fair. That's fair, but still, younger than you currently are now. Right.
Maybe 10 years. Yeah, about 40.
Okay. Okay, that's fair.
There's another book I read many, many years ago, and you'll have to forgive me. I'll throw it right out there. It's minor mommy porn, but Harold Robbins writes a lot of sex into his stories. Harold Robbins is not to the level of Danielle Steele, but yeah, it's some mommy porn that's in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but he wrote a book called Descent from Xanadu, and I picked up the book
Because it had
because of the
Xanadu
movie
in it.
Xanadu, and I picked up the book and I read it, and it was about a super wealthy man who was trying to figure out how to become immortal, and he was. I mean, researching everywhere across the world to find what would make him immortal, and it just it goes through his consequences as it goes through this as well, all the way to the end. Um, but when you kind of think about that, and I because I think about this Harold Robbins book when I think about this, if if immortality was available, knowing how we are now with medicine and costs and everything, do you think immortality or even super longevity would widen the gap that's already there between the wealthy and the poor?
Ooh, good question.
I'm full of them.
Yeah, you're full of something, all right. No. Jeff is a good friend of mine, so I don't want to say anything mean. Um, wow, would it
You
widen?
don't?
Well,
That's how he expresses love.
maybe not on the air.
Oh,
um, oh man, would it widen the gap between the wealthy and you know, I think we might run into the same problems though, honestly. And that's approached in the book too, because it's asked, is this going to be available to the poor along with the wealthy in there?
Hmm.
And he's saying, yeah, I assure you it will. But we all know how medical medicine works. I mean, yeah, Jeff, I've heard some of your rants on medication and the cost of
Hmm.
medication and heck, my wife's going through physical therapy right now, and that's costing us $50 a pop to do that. So,
Oh yeah.
um, I think it might widen the gap more. Honestly, I really do.
There's a TV show which actually covers this as well. Have you ever seen Upload?
I haven't seen
It's
that.
on Amazon Prime, and basically, if you're dying or you're on the precipice of dying or you have a life-threatening disease or whatnot, you can go to Upload and they will upload your soul, your memories into a
Right.
computer. And it's very funny because the way they do it, they put you on this machine, they hook you up to all these gizmos and whatnot, and they zap your personality out right as they crush your head. Make sure you
Nice.
can't come back. But in that world, it's exactly that because you have the super wealthy who have this beautiful hotel they live in and they get all the food they want, can do everything they want. And then down in the lower basement is this very black and white area, and it's people that they're only able to, I think they get an hour alive every month or every 2 months or something like that, and then they're put back into stasis or whatever until their time is up that they can be alive again for an hour.
Oh, I might have to check this show out.
Up, it's
Uh,
it's really funny.
it is it's a comedy, even though there is quite a bit of drama in it as well. But it's a good show. It's a good show. I think season 3 is out now.
okay.
I'm fairly certain of it.
Have you
Quit.
watched Severance?
I haven't, and I want to watch Severance.
Severance is really interesting because in Severance you get a job at this company and you sign a contract saying that you are willing to go through a procedure so that when you walk into the building, you forget who you are on the outside
Oh
and
wow.
you only know your work life. That is it. You know nothing else. And then once you leave the building, your mind goes back to what it is on the outside, and you know
Wow.
nothing
Yeah,
about what's happening
essentially,
inside.
from what I understand, it's all you know when you're going in is that you work there. You don't
Right.
know anything else.
And essentially you become two different people is what
Sure.
happens. So when you talk about uploading people's consciousness into AI, then you get into the ethical question of, well, is it really that person? I mean, and they kind of play with that in Severance, because, like I said, in Severance, they become two different people. You know, there are people who are fascinated inside the job and want to know what their outside person's like, and
Mhm.
then there's those inside who are like, no, I don't want nothing to do with the outside world, so on and so forth. And but essentially they become two different people. So if you're talking about uploading your conscience when you die into AI, into a computer, essentially, is it still you?
Right,
That's the
right.
ethical question. I personally don't think it's you. I think it just becomes something else entirely. It might have your memories. It might have some of your feelings about certain things, but as time goes on, that's going to change, and
You
it's
won't be
going to become
you
something else.
anymore. You will be something else.
Right? You'll become
Yeah.
something else.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's basically what we're doing anyway. Like I am not the person I was 10 years ago. I'm
Right? You're
not
not.
completely different, but
Right, exactly. You're not completely different, but I think with I think it becomes something totally different.
And that's
Again, this is
entirely
all
possible.
theoretical though
Oh,
too.
sure,
yeah.
sure, entirely possible though. I think it's funny. I've been seeing the meme all over the internet of James Cameron going, "I told you, I told you." But let's go into the Terminator series. By the time you get to what is it? Is it
John
Terminator?
Connor's looking at you.
Yeah. Well, when you get to Terminator Salvation, I think it is, and you've got the Terminator that has no idea he's a Terminator.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who the actor was that played that role.
Wasn't that um oh yeah. Uh
It's
wasn't that
where
Matt Smith?
it wasn't Matt Smith.
Oh, he
I'd
wasn't?
have uh-uh. What did I just see about Matt Smith just recently? I just saw something. Matt Smith is about to play. Oh, here we go. I'm going to tangent. I just read that Matt Smith has been cast as a Star Wars villain for Starfighter.
Oh really? I hadn't seen that yet.
Yes, I saw that just the
Awesome.
other day.
Sam
Um,
Worthington.
Sam Worthington, thank you. Yes, because he plays he has no idea he's a Terminator, and but he is. He's an AI, but yet he feels and he has feelings and he thinks he has a soul. And he only finds out later in the movie that he's a Terminator just like the rest of them. Uh, and so is that where we go? And that's
Well,
that'll
see,
kind of
in my book, Adam is given
that's
the
where I was
mind,
going. Yep, that's
and
where I was going.
then it becomes, is Adam a property to Gentech, the
Hmm.
company, or is he his own person? You know, and that's a theological, or an ethical question also that's thrown around in the book. Since he is not an actual human, he's a created human, a created being,
Hmm.
so to speak.
And
Does that make
that's
him human?
that's one of the things I love about your book is the treatment of Adam between Anya and dadgummit, Doctor.
Mary?
Say again.
Mary?
Not no, not Mary, but from Anya and the main doctor because I've lost his
Oh,
name in this.
Caldwell.
Yes.
Ethan Caldwell.
So Ethan, thank you. Um, at times, Ethan plays two different roles to Adam. Ethan plays the role of creator
Mm-hmm.
and owner,
Mm-hmm.
but then he also plays the role of father.
Yes,
Whereas Anya, from the beginning, is like mother. And I think
exactly.
that's fascinating that between those two characters, because Anya is always the very nurturing and supportive of Adam, and that he should be given rights, and he is really a living person. He's not just a thing. Whereas Ethan goes both ways with Adam.
Right.
Because there are times that he's that father. He's very proud of Adam and what Adam is creating, and then you'll get that other side of Ethan that is Dr. Frankenstein. This is my
Oh,
creation.
almost like the original Sam Neill's character in Bicentennial Man, where
Yes,
he's yeah,
yes,
where he's trying to give the android more um, more autonomy, but he also sees him as property at the same time.
sure. Oh
Total
yeah,
dichotomy.
That
absolutely.
is totally Ethan. That is
Well,
exactly who he is.
and you get this subject also in the movie AI, which is a brilliant movie as long as you, I tell everybody that's going to see it,
I'm trying to remember
watch
if I saw that movie or not.
AI is with Jude Law. Um, what's the kid's name?
Oh, he's not a kid anymore
No,
either.
he's not a kid anymore.
He's a full grown ass
Um,
man.
yeah. Anyway, so in the movie AI, you have this. It's a doll. It's a doll. It looks like a true human being. And when you unbox the doll, you have to speak a certain set of words, and that doll will forever be devoted to you.
Ah, okay. All
Forever.
right.
Um, and
I think
and
there was a
throughout,
Black Mirror episode that was similar to that.
yes, yes, there was. Yes, there was.
Yeah.
But in AI, um, the doll ends up getting sent away from its mother, who it is absolutely devoted to, and he spends the rest of the movie as he's growing and he's learning and he learns to navigate the robotics world, and it's a beautiful movie. It's a brilliant movie, but I will tell everybody that ever sees it, as soon as he meets Blue Fairy, stop watching the movie or you will hate the movie forever.
Haley Joel Osment.
Okay.
Haley Joel Osment, thank you. Because there's a point in the movie because he's
Where did
looking
this
for.
movie come out?
Uh, are you looking at it, Zig?
Yeah,
Early, it's in the
2001.
2000s.
Oh
2001.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's an old movie, but it's brilliant. And Haley Joel Osment's character, the robot, the robot doll, he's looking for Blue Fairy, and yeah, what
To make him a real
I
boy.
just for to make him a real boy. So I
Oh,
just
so
forewarn you right now, when he finds Blue Fairy, stop watching the movie.
it's almost
Very
Pinocchio.
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 Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, that's what it's based off
Here's
Pinocchio.
the
Okay.
thing. Stanley Kubrick was working on this movie. Stanley Kubrick passed away. Spielberg picked this movie up and he wanted to soften the ending.
right,
Okay.
and he ruined it. And he ruined it.
He
I,
ruined
I,
it.
I think Steven Spielberg is
He
great, but he
ruined it.
ruined it. I mean, Steven Spielberg, we all know, can do anything he wants in Hollywood. Steven Spielberg can walk into
Yeah.
a Hollywood production studio and go, "I want to make a movie about my cat's ass, and I want James Earl Jones to narrate it." And they'll go, "Okay, Steve." You know, they don't
Well, they
care.
definitely will now because now they can do whatever they want with James Earl Jones' voice.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Oh my
So
gosh! Now I'm picturing a. Oh gosh! Thanks for that.
My
Thanks for
my
that
cat's
image.
ass.
But anyway, so yeah, so that's what I found so fascinating about the book is those relationships, and then Adam especially as he grew throughout the book to where we go. The one thing I will say about the book that I'm desperate for, I'm desperate, is I want you to write a prequel because I want to know more about the Optimates and
Okay.
I want to know
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
Arcadia.
That was more. Yeah. That was a couple of your comments that you wanted to know
Yes,
more about Optimates, and yeah, I remember
yes,
that.
because I I sit here as I'm envisioning the story, and I see the Optimates. The way I envision it is Ethan Caldwell would walk into a an auditorium
Mm-hmm.
full of stadium seating, and the Optimates are all in there, but it's all dark and they're all shadows. You can't see them. That's how I envision them when he goes to talk to them. Arcadia. Um, I, Arcadia, I really kind of envisioned as you see in a lot of post-apocalyptic books as the the really cool society off to the side where
Uh-huh.
everybody's happy and healthy and doing things. But I think there's a fascination, excuse me, I think there's a fascinating story you could tell about those two groups, how they came about, but especially Arcadia.
Okay.
I think there's something really, really cool there, and I would love to see a prequel going
All
up there.
right.
I think there's something
I'll
there.
keep that in mind. I'll
Like
keep
I
it.
said,
Arcadia is definitely it's kind of the utopia is what it
hmm
is. It's
Thank
it's
you.
where
That's what I was looking for. Yes.
yeah, it's definitely a utopia. That's where Adam is craving to go to and everything because he feels that he will be more accepted in Arcadia. And the way it ends, you can tell he is much more
Much more
accepted,
better.
much more
Much more
better.
better. Here, it's on
I
our
don't have a
show.
drink.
Cheers.
I don't have a drink, so cheers. But yeah, that was kind of the idea behind that. I had to give him sort of a utopia sanctuary to go to. So
Well, and what's really cool, so I as, I associate reading very much with music because throughout my years, every time I was reading a book, I also had music playing in my ears, and so I'll hear music from time to time that just takes me back into a book. For the Immortality Code, it's kind of funny. I had a soundtrack going on in my head for this
oh
because
really?
oh yeah, because I could see this as a major motion picture or even a TV series because as we're sitting here talking about Arcadia, I'm thinking about the end sequences as there's all the action as they're trying to escape with Adam. They're trying to get him to Arcadia, and I could just hear the drum beats going and the heavy music as the action going through it. And it was just really cool. I love that portion of
Nice.
the book, and it just took me along. When I got to that portion of the book, there was no stopping me. I was finishing the book that night. I was going to keep going because it was just everything drawing to the close. Um, it's a wonderful book. A
Oh, thank
wonderful
you.
book. I as soon as it was available, I purchased a copy because I even though I had read it, I had to have my own copy because I thought it was a wonderful book. Um, which is why I've talked about it so much on our show. That you have to check it out. You
I
absolutely have to check
appreciate
it
it.
out.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This was not my first idea for a book. I have an idea that's been bouncing around in my head for years and years, and it's more of a horror comedy type of story. It's based in my own hometown. In fact, it's based in my backyard practically, just to tell you the truth. And it's some ideas that I had bouncing around because of a former neighbor who unfortunately moved away. Um, and then, I was playing with those ideas. And then all of a sudden, this story came up on the Megyn Kelly show and I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of more important in my opinion. So I went with that first,
hmm
and I'm like, okay, so I will come back to the other story, um, the other comedy horror story, but in the meantime, I am working on a second book. The book is not a direct sequel to the Immortality Code, but there's a there's a thread in it that leads to the immortality code. But I would not call it a sequel. You wouldn't have to read immortality code to understand this. They're total different characters. There's just one thing that's connecting the two books together, and then who knows? Maybe by the end of it, there'll be something more. But
So then
yeah.
I think that's what we need then. We need a Mike Shanks anthology, like a Black Mirror, that you've got all these different episodes of different things, but there's a thread that's connecting them all the way through.
Oh, I like that. I like that. And
Oh,
my first story has no thread to any of this stuff though. That first, like I said, that's all based in my hometown, practically in my backyard. So that has nothing to do with these. But that's been around since I moved into my house, okay, in 1996. That's how long that's been bouncing around in my
wow.
head. So
Well, and that's the big thing that I will say, is no matter what, no matter what stage you are post publishing of a book, the fact of the matter, the simple fact of the matter that you actually publish something is something that nobody can take away from you. If you were
Yes.
to publish a book and nobody read it but yourself and your close family and friends, you still put a story out to the world. What are you doing? What are you
I'm
doing?
pointing at you saying this is exactly what I was trying to say to you like 2 days ago.
This is not about me, but it is about me.
But it
Um,
is about you.
uh, no, and yeah, I know y'all said it to me, but it does ring very, very true. The
I never thought I would write a book. I honestly did. And Steven had been working on his book. Steven's my co-host on Two Geeks and a Microphone, for those who
Stephen
know.
Boster, also soon to be a published author in his own right, by the way, ladies
Well,
and gentlemen.
Steven is a published author.
Oh,
He
that's right,
published
he
one
does.
book.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah, because he's got
Yeah.
books on his website.
So yeah, he does have a book. But he's
We're
working
talking a
on his
fiction book.
right. He's working
Yeah,
on his fiction book. It's coming. Unfortunately, he had to make some changes, and they're kind of some heavy changes that he had to rework in the book, just technical reasons and such. But it's definitely coming. But Stephen was my inspiration, because he had already been working on his book, and I told him, I'm like, I got this idea and everything. And he's like, okay, well, let's start working on it. And he kind of got me going and everything. And then from there, I just got real excited, and I was okay. Let's do this. And I'd write some, and then I put it away for a little bit, and then I write some more, and and then something would come up, and it would get me all excited, and I'm all right. Let's get this done. And then by the end of it, I'm like, all right, let's hurry up and get this finished because I want this published. I don't want to look at it anymore. It's kind of
and
the way it was.
and those of you out there that are listening, if if you haven't gone through this type of process, do understand. By the time your book actually publishes, you will probably be sick of your own story because you have read it
You've read it
so many.
so many times.
Yes, yes, you've read it time and time
I don't
and
want to
time
read
again.
this part again. This part is
Well,
done.
but you have to because
Yeah.
you
Right.
do one change and then you go on, you go to the next. Well, now you once you're
You got to
done,
go
once
back,
you hit
make
the
sure
end,
the
you got to
change
go
makes
back.
sense.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. And
Um,
Yeah,
I did
I
that a
have
few times.
discovered this process recently myself.
yeah,
Oh, Zig, are you writing something?
Yeah.
he is trying to
First
write
draft's
something as well.
done.
Yep.
Awesome.
And that's and that's a milestone is getting that first draft done, getting it to the end, start to the finish. It doesn't matter how messy it is between start and finish. The fact that you made it to the end is wonderful, and it's something that when you're an author, you're exposing yourself to the world. You are
Mm-hmm.
becoming vulnerable, and because you're telling the world at this point, regardless of who has read it, but you're telling the world this was a piece of me.
Right.
I put something of me into this. It was my imagination that put this together. It was my imagination that created this story, and I am giving this to the world. That's something that is not everybody can do, and not everybody can understand how important and really cool that is to do something like that. Um, it's just
This came out of my love for classic horror and sci-fi. That's where it came from, And like I said, when I heard that story, I was like, I can turn this into, a story that I thought was intriguing, you know. But like you said, it's very personal, and when you put that out there, you're exposing yourself, and because you're like, well, wait a minute, what if nobody likes my story?
right,
What if it sounds stupid,
right,
that kind of thing, and there's that fear. the
sure,
the fear is there. But then when you get that copy, you get that author's copy, there's a feeling of satisfaction, like, wow, I accomplished this. This is something it's gonna outlive me. It'll be around for a long, long time. And hopefully for years to come after I'm gone. So there's my immortality right there. It, it's my story.
Until you have
Hey,
until
I
you
like how
have
you
that
brought that back.
yeah,
Thank you.
until you have that author's copy in your hands, um, it's not real.
Yeah,
It's
right.
not real. You get that in your hands, and that's going to be that is the first time as an author where and everybody will do it when they're a debut author. They will say for themselves for the first time, "Oh my God, this is real." There you go, the immortality code.
And that's
Hey,
that's the not for sale copy. That's the original author's copy right there.
By the way, this is available on Amazon now.
yes,
Um, but
Yeah,
go ahead.
hardcover and paperback and
yep.
e-reader.
Oh, not
Yeah.
hard cut. I didn't do the
Oh,
hard
did you not
copy.
do the hard copy?
No, I didn't
But
do the hard
trade
copy.
paperback.
Yeah, the paperback and the electronic version are available.
Okay.
There is an audio version available, but you have to go to Two Geeks and a Microphone Kofi page to get that. Um,
Did you
I
record that yourself?
I did not. I used AI.
Mhm.
Speaking of AI, and Amazon didn't like that I used AI. So, and I didn't realize that after I'd gotten it all done, because man, that was painstakingly. Oh, it was a pain in the butt to do. But after I got to the point where I was happy with it, and then I finally got the recording levels, because you have certain recording levels you have to have it at, and once it finally accepted it, I was like, okay, great. And then all of a sudden I get a message back saying, no, you used AI on this, we can't accept it. I was like,
You can't accept it.
are you kidding me? How come you couldn't have told me that up front? So what I
Wasted
decided,
all that time. You could have just said, "Oh, you can't use AI." Okay, well then I'm not
right,
doing this.
exactly. So what I decided was, well, you know what? I got my own platform. It's not a huge platform, but hey, it's a platform, and put it
Absolutely.
up on my own and said, there you go. So it's available. It's out there, and go get
So,
it.
so that brings up a great debate that I see all the time, and I'm sure, Mike, you're probably on a lot of the same Facebook author pages that I am, and I see this argument both directions all the time. Is it wrong to use AI to write a book, assist you in writing a book, or just help you edit a book? Or is there really nothing wrong with it at all? Because in the end, AI currently, as we know it, cannot imagine.
Right,
You have to tell it the vision.
right.
So I'm kind of curious which side of the fence you're on that. Is it
Well,
okay? Is it not okay?
full disclosure, I use some AI tools to build this story and to help further
Organize your
my
thoughts.
ideas. Right, organize my thoughts and so on and so forth. So I have no issue with using AI for that. Now, if I just sat down and said, all right, I want you to write this, and then spit out a 300-page story for me, 25 chapters, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah,
Right.
you're not writing it at all.
No, no.
But that's not the case for this. This was my ideas. This was my story. I input ideas. It shot stuff back at me. I read through it and go, okay, let's change this. Let's change that. And I went through the exact same process any other author would go through. It's just I had a little
There
electronic
have
help.
been authors' tools around for years. There's one I could think of off the top of my head called the Chicago Manual for Style.
I think you talked about that.
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
been authors and playwrights have been using it for decades.
right,
And I think they first wrote it in like the 40s, the
right.
Well,
1940s.
and here, let's put a fine point on it. You talk about writer's tools and just how things have changed. Here, let me give you a writer's tool, a typewriter,
Uh-huh.
a
Right,
pen.
right.
Uh-huh.
I don't foresee it as any different in the
It's a
progression
tool.
path.
Yeah.
It's a tool. It's a tool you can use. There's Grammarly that's out there, which is AI to help you with your grammar. Um,
So
I
is my house a house still a house if I use a nail gun instead of a hammer?
exactly, exactly.
Exactly.
Right.
You're just using a tool that helps you along with your project. And that's why I stay out of those debates. I just kind of watch them off to the side and watch how people complain about it one side or the other. But I find it fascinating. I think responsible AI is good, and I think there it's a definitive tool to help you. And if you've got ideas you need to bounce off, it is still your ideas. It's your imagination. It's your characters. You develop the
Right.
world.
Yeah, I don't want AI completely writing
No,
an entire story.
no,
I'm against that.
yeah,
I have no um fascination with AI just completely writing something. But
agreed.
AI as an assistant, as an assistant, I don't have an issue with.
Yeah.
I think it's a tool. That's
Yeah,
all it is. It's a tool.
100% agree. 100% agree. It's technology itself is a fascinating topic where where we're going, where technology is going to take us in the future. What are we going to see? And I think some of the most fascinating stuff is in the medical field, in what we're doing to make life better. As I talked about earlier in the show, that research that's going into cancer that they may actually not only it may cure cancer, basically is
Yeah,
what
make
it
them
is.
regular cells again.
Oh, sure.
That's yeah.
But those tools and technology have been advancing for so many years. If
Oh
you
yeah.
just, let's talk about right now. If you go and have surgery, there is every chance a human being isn't going to touch you to open you up. You
Yep. It's getting
go
that
under
way.
a Da Vinci, you go under a Da Vinci, and they basically you plug in the blueprint for what this surgery is supposed to be. You then map out the body so the Da Vinci sees how tall this person is, where their organs are supposed to be, and everything. And then you have a doctor that's guiding everything with joysticks, and it makes it a more precise surgery because I can have a robot that is very precise and very accurate versus Dr. Joe Shit the Ragman, who's like this because I was hungover from the night before.
Joe shit the rag man.
You know what I'm saying? And so this is a tool to
Oh,
make things.
you know what I got in my head right now? I got
What's
the
that?
scene from '89 Batman when Joker's sitting in the little makeshift ER, and and the guy's like, "Look, this is what I have to work with."
What it makes me think of is, well, here, let me show you. You see this? Yeah, that's steady as a rock. Well, this is my
Yeah,
my
well,
this is my
shoot.
shooting hand. Um, but technology and what you talk about in the book here, the Immortality Code, trying to get us towards immortality or extend our life or make life better. Technology is doing this. We have taken so many leaps and bounds in technology over the last 70 years than we did for the previous 300. You look at where we were, just go to just start with the 1950s and think about the technology we had in the 1950s. I'm gonna back off of that. I'm
Shoot,
gonna go to
just
the
think of the technology you
1980s.
had in
Yes,
1980s. Yeah.
go to the 1980s where I could open up where I could open up the Radio Shack newspaper ad and pages of pages of technology of various things. Yet everything that is in that Radio Shack ad, I have in my cell phone now that I keep in my pocket. The cell phone that I keep in my pocket is more powerful than it took to launch the Apollo mission.
Right. That's what I was thinking too.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and
It's crazy.
and these are the leaps and bounds that we're taking, and it kind of begs the question: at what point is there a point where we've just done as much as we can? We've pushed technology as far as it can go. Are we going to ever get there? Or are we going to do just like in the Immortality Code and build the perfect beast that's going to
Right.
improve our lives, that's going to take us to that next level? And so to bring it back to the book, I'm sorry, I scrolled away and I've made this circle. One of the reasons I love this book so much is I think as you read through the book, I think the book is going to challenge your ethical philosophies. I think it's going to challenge your mindset, and I think it's going to challenge what we as human beings are possible. And at what point do we get to a point where we can no longer create as human beings because we've hit the maximum and now
Right.
AI has to take over?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love about your book.
And
I
I
think it,
don't make the ethical choices in the book. I let you, the reader, make those choices and make the decision. Is this the right thing or is this the wrong thing? I obviously have an affection for my main character, Adam, and I love that character. He's one of my favorites. Um, but I'm not making an ethical decision whether what you know the his evolution is the right thing or not. you
yeah,
know I look at it more of, okay, he has been created at this point, so being the fact that he's created, is he now a sentient being?
right,
That's the way I look at it at that
right,
point, not whether it's right or wrong to create him in the way they did. Just, okay, now he is what he is, so he exists. What do you do with him at that point?
sure,
That's where it is.
sure.
But I just leave that all up to the reader.
I think therefore I am.
Right. Exactly.
Takes you back to the very basic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, really cool, and I know we tailed off on a whole bunch of different topics about philosophy and ethics that surround all this, but honestly, I think if you read this book, um, those things will be challenged. I think those things will be challenged, what your viewpoint is and how you feel about these various topics in our lives. Adam, um, Adam is a very extremely sympathetic character in the book, and you feel for him. I can easily tell why he is your favorite in the book. He's a very sympathetic character, and as you read through the book, you're going to feel sorry for him. You're going to
Right.
feel sorry for him because there's the part where Anya is very mothering to him and very loving to him, and so you're gonna have the feels for him then,
Okay.
and then you're gonna have when Ethan is very domineering over Adam and
I'm
very
recording.
very direct to what Adam is as a tool because he sees it as both. He sees it as a tool, he sees it as his creation, and he sees it as his child.
Right. And Adam is very innocent in the sense that, he had no choice in being created,
Right.
and but here he is. This is him. This is who he is. So accept him for what he is. That's
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Wonderful, 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 wonderful book.
Thank you.
I would read it again and again. I wouldn't Steven skip anything in the book.
Oh, that's very
Um,
nice.
Don't Steven skip it.
um, Go out and get this book. Go out and get this book. I think like I said, I think it's a book. I think it will challenge your very existence. And what your thoughts are on technology and where it is and where we're going. I think you will find it a very enjoyable book. There are lull moments where things are just happening, but they're good and they fit with the story. And then you have very high action moments. And I think it's beautifully written. To really bring all of those themes in together. Great, great job on this book.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Ah, Zig, I think I think I'm a little winded. Did you have some questions that you wanted to ask for Mike? Because
No,
I
no,
think
no.
I
I
think
think
I
you kind of
dominated
covered.
that.
You kind of covered most of it. Uh, just I, I just want to say thank you. Because it gave him the impetus. It gave me the impetus. Um, and that's much appreciated. But I guess we should also thank Steven for giving you the
Yeah,
impetus
exactly.
originally. So
Exactly.
Steven, even though you're not here, thanks, man.
Yeah, Steven's kind of the author of the whole thing. So
Funny. I guess in a way we're what? They're one of those little Russian nesting dolls.
Yes.
oh my gosh, now we need them.
We need Russian nesting dolls, and each one of us, our book logo is on one layer.
That would be great. Oh my
Zig, you
god.
being my emotional support monkey, you'll have to have the inner one. So,
Yeah, okay. Finish
Uh,
wearing our book logo t-shirts.
yeah,
I okay, yeah, I saw Zig on your t-shirt, but what else does it
Oh,
say?
it says Zig with your nerdery. Oops, you
yeah,
can't see
Oh,
you. Nope, can't see you. It says Zig with your nerdery.
oh nice.
with a pair of
I have
glasses.
and it has a pair of glasses on the bottom, and then I have one that says Jeffrey with your murdery, and there's a butcher knife on the bottom.
Oh
Yeah, Will
cool.
made those like our
Yeah,
one of our first recordings.
very, very early, our producer
Yeah.
Will made those for it. They're one of a kind.
Are you going to make those available to purchase?
We could. I mean, we
You
could always
should.
put that design out there. I'm sure we could.
Or if you want to keep that your own, slightly change it, make it somewhat different, and but put a spin on it.
Shoot, I don't care if there's 1,000 people out there with shirts that say Jeffrey with your
Fuck
murdery. Doesn't
no.
bother me.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if we're making $1 off of it,
Oh, I know how that is. The merch is not so much I want to make money off of it's advertising.
That's
Yeah.
free. It is. That is
Yeah. Don't
free
want to see him out there
advertising
in
right
the
there.
yeah. As long as it's not costing us money. Hey.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
But yeah, that's something we could probably put out there. But Mike, thank you for joining with us. I'm sorry we're such assholes that we didn't do this sooner because
Oh no.
we're almost a year from your book being out.
Yeah.
That's
We
okay.
should
Yeah,
we should have
Jeffrey
done
was
this
like,
sooner.
we really should interview Mike about his book. And it was like, oh yeah, we're assholes.
You guys messaged me, it was a couple weeks ago, about doing this, and
Uh-huh.
and you both made comments. We're assholes. We're assholes. We're assholes. And I'm like, I never thought that. First of all, you guys don't do an interview show.
No.
Steven and I have interviews from time to time. We've done that since the beginning, so that's something we do. Steven's a better interviewer than I am. just give him
You're
give
not
him
bad, but he is kind of gifted. I'll
he
be
is
honest. He
he's
is
very
kind of
gifted
gifted.
in that. Yes.
Again, you are the no mayor yourself. You're
Thank you.
pretty good at it, but yeah, he is.
But I give credit where credit is due, and
Yeah.
that's one of Steven's fortes. And I didn't really think of you guys that way, so it's fine. It's fine.
Well, and we didn't either. We didn't think
No.
of ourselves that way either. I never thought of interviewing, and I'm glad we did.
No, we have to regurgitate this nerdery that's in our head so we can go to sleep at night.
well,
Understood.
and Mike, I really thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You've been a very a common guest of ours. You're not a common person, but you've been a very common guest of ours on the guestry on the show. You've been on with us for so many times for so many nerderies and murderies, and we've done the crossovers, and then we did the crossover with Three Geeky Dads, which was
Yep.
the I want to say it may be one of the first um uh um what's the word I'm looking for here? Three-way,
Crossover.
three-way
Oh,
in podcast history.
what? No, wait a minute.
Um,
What did Brian called it? He called
Menage a pod.
Menage a
Monash
pod.
Top.
Yes. So I was just very happy to have you on it. And again, if you have not checked out the Immortality Code, rewriting the rules of I'm tripping over my words here. Rewriting the rules of life and death, please pick it up. It's out on Amazon. It's a wonderful book. Um, you'll get hooked on it very, very quickly and stay with it because there are some surprises and shocks as you go along that I think probably didn't expect. Go get it. I look forward to more. Again, I hope you do a prequel. I look forward to reading more from you. I think you're a fabulous writer, and I can't wait to
Oh,
read more.
thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, I can't wait to get it done and then for you to read my next book.
I'm excited. I will absolutely read it. No doubt I'm going to read it. You can also find Mike on Two Geeks and a Microphone. That's his podcast. They come out weekly, generally. I think they missed one this week because there was some stuff going on, but in general, they are
Oh,
live.
Megan and I did an
Oh, did y'all
episode.
do one? Okay, I missed it. So,
We did it on her
oh, that
passion
that the hotels.
has has been hotel. Yeah.
Yes, has been hotel.
I
Um,
I kind of came up with the idea at the last minute. So after I had announced that we weren't going to have an episode, so yeah.
some of those
But
are the best. But listen to them. They go live every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Central.
9 a.m. Central
Yep,
Standard Time. You do the math on the rest because I don't like math.
absolutely, and I won't either. They're an absolute joy to listen to. I've listened to all the way back to the beginning. I've got some episodes now I need to catch up on, but after we got to know them, I went back to episode one and listened all the way through. It's a wonderful show. Have so much fun on the show, and Michael and Steven are so much fun. They have I just I love the things they do on the show, from the Geek Dar, and in the news, and then the main event. It's really a cool show, and if you like nerd culture and geek culture, there's so much there. So give them a listen as well.
That, and we really should give them a shout out too, because they're the ones that convinced us to roll with video.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
Because we
that's true.
weren't doing it. Yeah, we were like, nah, we'll just be on the radio. We got faces for radio. Nobody wants to see that.
Well, okay. Let me put a fine point. Let me put a fine point on that. On that, Zig decided we were doing video. We did a show, and we do this over Zoom. And I was getting ready to work on our uploads, and he goes, "Hey, I put our video out on YouTube." And I went, "What?"
I had some
I,
coworkers who were pushing me towards it. They kept saying you should do Twitch. That's what they were telling me to do. And I was like, I don't know. My heart is for podcasts. My heart's for audio. And they're like, yeah, but you might be able to pick up a bigger audience. And so Steven and I like, well, let's give it a shot. Why not? I mean, it doesn't cost anything to start a YouTube channel, so
Yeah,
let's do it. So we gave it a shot. We liked it. Ever since then, it's like, okay, let's go. Let's go live. Let's do this.
it's been great. I love y'all's show.
Thank you.
Mike, you got any closing words for us?
No, just make sure and go check out the book. Like Jeff said, you can get it on Amazon. You can go to www.michaellshanks.com, and that's L. It is not Michael Shanks from Stargate, although we share the name and we almost share a birthday too.
really?
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. He's
Are you
December.
good at hockey too?
No, I
Okay.
like hockey, but I'm not good at it. I can't skate, man. I can't skate to save my life. Well, I can't. Uh, I was gonna say I can't ice skate. I can't ice skate at all. I used to roller skate decent, but
Yeah, I did too.
now, no, I ain't getting on no roller skates anymore either. I'll break my neck.
Well, me and the kids go roller skating every once in a while. I'm good for about an hour, and then my legs are like, get off of these skates.
Mm-hmm. Do you do the old style skates or do you do inlines?
No, I do old style skates because I want to take my
Nice.
feet and do this because that's usually
Right.
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's great exercise.
I
I
can't
tried.
do
I
inlines at all.
No, I tried for a little while, and that was real hard on my ankles. I
Oh,
mm,
Inlines, but
yeah.
I
yeah.
can ice skate okay.
Yeah, I
I've
can't stay
I've
up on
done
ice
it. I
skates.
wouldn't say I was okay at it, but
No, I fell many times and said, "Screw this, I'm done. I can't do it." So anyway, but yeah, just go check out the book on Amazon.com.
great. And listen to him on Two Geeks and a Microphone, like I said earlier, 9 a.m. every Saturday morning. It's always a fun time. Zig, you got any closing words for us?
No, sir.
All right. Well, that has been a special exclusive. Not, it's not an exclusive. I take that back. It's been a special episode. Our exclusives are for our patrons. But this has been a special episode of Nerdery Murdery. it's I looked forward to this. We like I said, we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, and I look forward to this. So happy as always to have Mike come on the show. I'm not even gonna hawk all of our stuff because that can hold for our show. This show has been all about Mike, and just
Mhm.
very happy to have him in this special episode. So with that,
I have been Zig with your nerdery,
and you're an asshole,
and I'm an asshole.
and I've been Jeffrey with your murdery, and I'm an asshole.
Cue the music.